Hello my soccer universe for another unpacking video, and yeah, this is the dummy moment for me of this week. I actually shot this video. No, I didn't. I did all the things and then I saw that I didn't hit the record button. So whatever I did, I tried to put it back into the packaging as good as I could. Unfortunately the box I cannot rip open anymore, but yeah, it's this one and we'll talk about this in a sec more. It's really special, I gotta say, and maybe I was too busy thinking about how could I frame this entire video, and so I forgot to actually press the record button. Dummy. I also have to tell you, because this is a special video, I have to shoot this in two parts. One part before I go on vacation. You see everything here is kind of still blank, and the second part after the vacation, because I want to add a print to this jersey, a very special one, and you will see that this will be quite cool overall. Now, you will rightly be asking, why another unpacking video? Where are your videos where you're reviewing the games of the Premier League, of Serie A, of the Austrian Bundesliga, you know, all the leagues that you've been doing so far? Well, if you have missed the announcement, I have decided to make my Soccer Universe now a jersey only related channel where I show you my unpacking videos, but this should not be the only reason I'm doing these videos. I also want to talk about shirt trends and so on, and I actually want to focus a little bit more on that. However, if you still want to hear my thoughts on the games on the pitch, I would be very happy if you would come along and join my second channel, my Soccer Universe Football Talk. Link is up here in the description below and in the end screen at the end of this video. Now, as I said, I'm shooting this about a week before the new Premier League season starts, and no scarves yet up there. That will come, you know, it has been busy times. And as always, I often get the question, what's your favorite Premier League team? Well, to be honest, I don't have one. And yes, I had sympathies going back and forth, and there have been one constant that I don't like Manchester United all that much because they've been winning so much. And as of late, even though they play beautifully, Manchester City, the city rivals, also not quite hitting it off for me. But I was really neutral. There was Chelsea at the beginning because they played really nice. But then Abramovich took over. But, you know, it's a club that I found and was not very well managed. And that's something I do not like in a way. But, you know, probably for many Premier League teams could be. But Chelsea has been one constant. There was a short period with Newcastle, you know, black and white stripes like Lusk. There is also some similarities there. But then I found myself sitting at one point at Stamford Bridge watching Chelsea against Newcastle, and I'm cheering for Chelsea, which on so many levels did not feel right. But, you know, that was... Chelsea was my team back then. I also remember once Fulham, I was there but never really caught on, although they would be black and white as well, kind of, sort of. Saw a game there, my first ever Premier League game was, I think, Fulham against Derby County when I just got promoted. They had the Pizza Hut jersey and I didn't buy it back then, and I'm so mad at myself that I didn't do that. Hey, yeah, you never learn. But I bought the three other jerseys. I bought Chelsea away jersey, then I bought the Spurs jersey and the Arsenal jersey from the same season. And I have to say the one that I liked best in hindsight, and still kind of, although the Arsenal jersey is nice, is actually this Spurs jersey. And so yeah, have been looking into Spurs, especially as of late, and I thought, yeah, there's also some similarities between Lusk and Spurs. Lusk is Spursy, Spurs is Spursy. But yeah, also not quite doing, it's never really caught on with me. But there's one team that, collecting wise, I've realized I probably have now more jerseys of that team than any others. And there's another reason why I actually could like this team a whole lot. And it goes into my other passion, music. I mean, you see me, rock music. I'm clearly a metalhead in a way. So yeah, that goes in there. And before we talk more about that connection, why this is kind of picking up, I have here this box. I ordered this after a special event. I mean, I already at the beginning of the season I said, because of the promotional video, I actually want to have this jersey already. Then I saw it on sale, didn't quite immediately pounce, but then something big happened and that made me buy that one. And let's open it up. I know it's not the same unpacking, I already ripped it open, but I'll show you to you here like I did before. 1, 2, 3. You probably can guess it already. Yes, it's very dark. It says Betano. There's also a little bit blue. Of course it is. And yeah, I ripped the bag already open. The the Aston Villa jersey from the 24-25 season. So before I take it out of the bag, I have already 4 Aston Villa jerseys. The home jersey here from the early 2000s from Diadora is the latest one that I got. So in a way, not really a reason to get another home jersey. However, the promotional video, and if you haven't seen it, here's a link up there, features of course the founding fathers of my favorite music, heavy metal, in Black Sabbath, most prominently Geezer Butler, and of course the one and only Ozzy Osbourne wearing this jersey. And at that moment I already knew, yeah, I need to do that. Ozzy Osbourne was also featured in a really nice tifo by Villa fans, so that was already great. Then they announced Ozzy's final concert at Villa Park. I mean, he grew up literally 2 blocks away from Villa Park, 14 Lodge Road or something like that. And yeah, they also used that jersey to promote this event. And then 2.5 weeks later, he passed away. And it was such, I mean, I was never really the biggest Sabbath or Ozzy fan, but he was such a constant. He was such a gravitating force in the world of my favorite music that you just couldn't ignore him. And I always had a big like for him, and I really sympathize with him. I mean, the Osbournes, the TV series, I don't watch reality television, but that TV series was so chaotic. It was actually fun, and it featured a heavy metal singer who is just a clumsy dad in a way, but so funny. So yeah, that's why I had to get this jersey, especially after he passed. It actually hit me much harder than I would have ever thought. And in Ozzy's honor, I'm taking a football shirt out. I had an Ozfest shirt from 2005. I saw the original Black Sabbath. I gave it away. Yes, it was not the previous jersey. It had kind of a devil on front sitting on the toilet. So it was never quite my style. But this is my style. And this goes right back to Birmingham, to Aston, where heavy metal was founded. And so this jersey will be now, in a way, my tribute to Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne in particular. It's a very interesting jersey. I mean, it's the first one by Adidas. They came up with the new crest here because that round one that only lasted for a season, that wasn't nice enough. I actually thought it was a really nice logo. That's why I got these 2 jerseys. They had then a previous one, and yeah, it's very similar to that one, although I don't like necessarily the shade on it. I'm not sure if it's a better version, but so be it. It is the 150th anniversary of Aston Villa, and that anniversary jersey looked really nice, the black one. What I'm surprised now is that this is a very dark red, much darker than the other 2 here, and the blue is actually quite lighter, so kind of a new color combination. That is something that takes me aback at the moment. But yeah, it's a nice jersey. It featured in this wonderful commercial, and of course I had to make this quite special. Yes, I got it printed, Ozzy number 9 and Black Sabbath print as well. That was very limited. You only could get this in very limited quantities. But I did this myself. I had some fun with my printing press. The Black Sabbath patch is an original patch that I found on eBay. Then Andy helped me get this Ozzy print, which I'm not sure is the original one, but it's the Cup name set. And this Black Sabbath patch was only worn, I think, in the League Cup, so that's why I wanted to get the Cup name set, which is actually nice as well, and of course features also down here the Aston Villa 150-year logo. I cannot tell you how much time I spent to get this Ozzy curved. This was a lot of eyeballing, a lot of going back and forth. I also think that potentially it's a little bit too low on the back, but you know, I spent about half an hour with my older daughter and my wife, but I wanted to have the Ozzy printed on back of that. And yes, I typically, when I make prints, it should be players that have been wearing this jersey. However, given that Ozzy Osbourne passed away, he was wearing this jersey in that commercial. He played his last gig at Villa Park, and then when they announced it, they put the number 9 with Ozzy on there. It was just, I had to do it. I had to do it. And so this is a wonderful mixing of my two favorite things, soccer, football, and hard music. So I'm really pleased with that one. Why did I choose number 9 when in the clip that you watched it said number 11? Well, as I said, in the promo picture there was number 9 Ozzy. And so this is my tribute to the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. As I said, that passing hit me really hard, in a way, more than I expected. And so I really need to get it. And also, of course, at that point when I saw and when this happened, my wife also quickly agreed, you know, get the shirt, get the print. And I actually had some fun with the printing press. So much fun that I actually printed some other shirts as well that I'm gonna show you too now. So since the last time I published a video on applying name sets yourself on a jersey, there have been some prints gathering here in my office. One of those was the Ozzy name set that, as I said, my buddy Andy helped me get from a seller on eBay. But there were a few others that have been gathering and I never really had the time to apply them. And so pretty much, I think a month after I shot the opener to this very video, I applied them, and I'm shooting this now about a week and a half later. So yeah, this is a video that has been 6 weeks in the making. Pretty crazy stuff, I wanna say. Before I show you the 2 more name sets that I've applied, and for those I was not as, you know, nitpicky, although I still took my time in applying this. You always have to make sure when you apply the prints that once it's done, it's done. You cannot undo this anymore. So make sure it kind of matches of what you have been expecting to do. The first one was I was applying a sponsor to an Inter Milan jersey that I got pretty much a year ago. It's the away jersey. It came without the Paramount Plus sponsor. And yes, many will say, why didn't you get the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles? I don't care, I like the Paramount Plus sponsor better. This should have been simple. This should have been really simple because you have here a pattern that you can actually orient yourself. This was a bitch to apply because the pixels are not straight, they're actually slanted. I made it really hard to apply this one. I had to look at plenty of photos of how this is applied, but I think I got it nicely done. And I have to say, this was a really nice sponsor. And yeah, I need to get a few other things like a Coppa Italia patch in there, maybe some patches here, but it's an Inter Milan jersey. I'm not a fan of Inter Milan, but I like this particular jersey. So we'll see what we will do with it. So that was the first one. We'll stay in Italy for the next one, and I have to say this is a little bit more contentious because I was long thinking, should I actually do it on this jersey or not? But hey, Coppa Italia patch. And may I just say, I was so tempted to put the Coppa Italia patch here in the center where it should be, but then it was always worn above the trefoil logo. It makes the jersey a little bit more complete, and you know, maybe with the Save the Children sponsor and the names it would be even better, but I love this jersey so much I'm actually wearing it, and adding this is not too bad. If you're thinking, yeah, why did you put it here and not on this Inter jersey? If you look here on this Coppa Italia logo, you see that in the green part, or the Coccarda as it's called, you will see that in the green part there's a Juve logo in there. So there was no way that I could put this on this Inter jersey. So yeah, have completed this absolute gorgeous shirt from the last season. The question is, should I even bother adding a sponsor? I actually like it the way it is. But you know, we'll see, we'll definitely see. Now the next jersey that I printed, and there are 2 more, now I chose name sets, is this Bologna away jersey from a couple of seasons ago that has this really nice, interesting pattern with the 2 towers, and I made a video about these as well. And I found a name set that I really wanted to have there, and of course it is Austria's Marko Arnautovic. Yes, I could have gotten him for the Inter jersey as well, but I said, now let's do it rather for Bologna. This was also surprisingly difficult to apply because this Illumio sponsor, when you lay it down, it looks straight. No, it is not. This is rising. And then figuring out how and where this goes, I think in the end I did it quite nicely. I actually used some of the printed Milan jerseys that I have to kind of get the spacing also right. The thing with this one is, and you see it here when it's shined, there is a mural pattern in that of course also goes back to this tower, so I absolutely love this touch. Serie A does this really well, incorporating the patterns in the print, so absolutely love that one. And yeah, Arnautovic for Bologna did actually quite well, and so it was natural to get this printed. And with the exception of the Ozzy jersey, the last one that I got printed is also one of the more recent acquisitions. It is PSG, the Champions League winning jersey. I really liked when they put this textured effect of the classic PSG look, but when you watch the unpacking video you will see that I say, yeah, the back is kind of plain, but it really looks good with a name set. And yes, it really looks good with a name set. I got Kvaratskhelia. I was thinking of getting, you know, some other player, but I like Kvara a lot. And you know, if you get a long name and you pay kind of the same price for it, it actually works out. Yes, the number 7, probably double-digit number would be better. But I have to say, with my small press, a double-digit number is also a little bit harder to apply. I actually, in both cases, for the Arnautovic and the Ozzy, and then for the Kvaratskhelia, I did first either the number or the name. I mean, I think I usually start with the number and then I did everything separately. So, you know, there's a few printing processes going on because I have a little bit of a smaller machine, but it gets the job done. What I absolutely love is that the kind of design from the front is reflected here, and this is not the Ligue 1 font, this is the one that they used in the Champions League, and I guess, no, I'm not sure if they used it in cup competitions, because, you know, cup competitions in France, Coupe de France with their weird sponsors, that's a whole other can of worms I'm not going to open up here. But I really like that we have the brush stroke effect here, and it also kind of gives you the PSG look with, you know, the red in the center, the white, and then the blue around. Absolute gorgeous idea. Again, the placing of that, I eyeballed this more than anything else based on pictures that I saw, but I think it overall looks quite alright. 7s are tricky, because I know this here is the center of the shirt, but then where's the center of the number? It's not where the PSG logo is. Difficult, but it was worthwhile. I'm very happy to have Kvara. Okay, long video, but I think it was worth it. That Villa shirt and my tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, that was something I just had to do, and then the printing was fun as well. And yeah, maybe, they started badly this season, but maybe I just might be a Villa fan right now. Let's see about that. There's another team that, funnily enough, has the same colors as Villa, that is very closely connected to a metal band, which is of course Iron Maiden and West Ham. So yeah, I actually like Iron Maiden more than Black Sabbath most of the time, but you know, it's Ozzy. Ozzy is a bigger character than all of them, in any case. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I talked about in this video, about the prints, about the Ozzy shirt, and so on and so forth, and you know, my potential Villa fandom. Still think it's kind of neutral overall, but you know, we'll see about that. Also, check out the other channels that I've been talking about earlier in the video. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these, and I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye!